Remember if we went back to Dr. Missouri Emoto's work? Here, I'll show you. All right. Let's have a book on it as well. I'll just pop that down a sec. Give me a second here. I'll just point this out to you. Okay, I'll just drop that down there a minute. Okay. Remember we did this the other day? Okay, excuse me. I'll just... Okay, you seeing the 6? Okay. Just end that. I'll show you. Geez, luck we're doing the basics, hey? B, C, D, E, F, G. All right, so there is a water crystal that's been shown love, so it structures itself. All right. When we do the elements, if we do an elements workshop, I'll show you negative and positive structures of water and what it shows, because water takes on vibration. Water, it's like it's memory, it holds memory, it's intelligent. You have a Pacific Ocean just out here, it creates trillions and trillions of tons of life, from whales to plankton, and it's ridiculous the amount of creatures that live there. Phenomenal. So once again, you're seeing it as a hexagonal shape, quartz. There are other structures that are vital as well, and we'll be talking about them as the class goes on and progresses. I just wanted to show you that it's a very, very important aspect of our crystalline structure and the importance of gems. And once more, you know, there's a lot of aspects like to shape. That's why shape is important. It carries intelligence. Just quickly, that's good. All right, we can drop that now. All right. I won't go into it. So the original computers and that, they were using hexagonal crystals. You know, so your silicon chip in your computer would not be too different to that. It wouldn't be too different to it. All right. Okay. I'll just show you this one. Open. This is garnet. If you blew up garnet and looked at garnet, okay, see how it looks like layers? Almost like it's intelligent, like a layout of a temple. It just grows. That's why they lay those massive temples out in these structures and these shapes, because it attracts. It's a natural attractor. It's a cosmic law that it builds on these cosmic building blocks. It's smart. It's intelligent. It knows what it's doing. It's not random, and that's, you know, the purpose of our class here, that you see that it's not random, that it has structure and intelligence, as it were. Okay. All right, getting back to our little PowerPoint here. I'll go on it more, okay? I think that's pink tourmaline, pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is tourmaline. So it has 3 long sides and 3 short sides, tourmaline, as it grows. So it's another 6-point star, but not a true hexagram, but still in the same vein and light as that, okay? I believe that is green tourmaline. That's another green tourmaline. So imagine your technology is just all, it's quartz and stones, that's what it is. So this is what we're going to look at in understanding how to cleanse and bless stones as well. You're looking at things that work with you. And the only reason it works in your phones and your tablets is because it has a power source that goes into it, yet it has a power source of itself, but it's being manipulated to certain frequencies to pick up things, okay? It's just all stones and metals when you really look at it. That's all it is. It's just understanding how the layout is. So a quartz crystal on your computer, let's say your laptop, let's say it's got a pretty large memory, it would have something like about 4 billion transistors placed upon that quartz crystal. Remember transistor radios and things? So they go, yeah. Well, imagine that, okay, those transistors, and they just got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and more and more and more and more. And that's how computers work. And it just works with a simple binary code of ones and zeros. So it's intelligent. I mean, geez, the sound card on a computer now is more powerful than, the mother, bigger than the hard drive we used to have, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So it's so powerful. So with this, with crystalline structure, you get to understand that it is intelligent and designed, and it grows in crystalline ways. Like we looked at that water molecule. If we looked at ice molecules growing on a window pane, same thing had happened. It's intelligent, it just grows. And look at the speed they grow at on a window pane, very, very fast. So they say these crystals take millions of years to form. That is true in a sense, but in the right environment, how fast do you think they could grow in the mother's womb, as it were? Just saying. All right, so sped up. And that's what they did when they grew artificial rubies and emeralds and things for the electronics industry. That's what they did. They grew them. They grew them in these high pressure vacuum labs. Things like this. Look at these things. Unbelievable. So,
do they have the same properties as naturally grown crystals?
They do, but they don't. They don't have the power and the energy. The natural stuff is really, yeah, exactly. And that's why we get a lot of visitations from very advanced beings. They say that they use some of these high-end crystalline energies and minerals and things like that. But more on that at another time.
So if you're doing a healing with crystals,
Mm-hmm.
it would really matter whether the crystal was a high-quality crystal or
Yeah, that
one
would be,
that's
but
just been man-made?
yeah, you wouldn't be man-made stuff. As I say, there's lead crystal they used to make in Bohemia and Czechoslovakia, and also Ireland as well. They made the lead crystals and things like that. It's got the same constituent elements, but it's just not the same. Okay, that's right. It's kind of like the real silk as opposed to something that's manufactured like a synthetic. It has the properties that it can do the project, it can do the job, but it's just not as good. So you're better off even with a natural semi-precious stone, something like shungite or something like black tourmaline or something. They're affordable and they're great. You can carry them off. They disperse EMF frequencies. I mean, we've been working on this stuff for a long time. We've got some over there. Have a look at it. I carry shungite, I used to work with stupid amounts of radiation. If we were going about phones cooking your head, I used to work with, Lincoln 500, plasma cutters, and they're huge. The EM fields off them are just, they're like 100 times. So I had to wear a lot of protective stones and that. That was my thing. Whereas a lot of the guys seem to fall into their negative emotions that working with this kind of equipment. But as I said, it's not just me saying it. It's like a road tester. I want to make sure. I used to wear a sapphire around my neck. And at the moment, I'm wearing a lapis. Blue's very good for my throat, particularly if I'm doing a lot of communication. I just know I can trust this stone. It's going to do it. There's a lot of other energies in that. I like lapis. I like blue stones. I like shungite. I like other metals and things too. But I have a plethora of stones. But yeah, the quality of the stone is important, But as I said, even just a raw emerald is a chunk and it's not the right, it could be bigger. It's still got some good qualities about it. And you've got to be the judge on what you want to use, the quality stones. A lot of quartzes are usually buffed or polished or shaped into the six. They usually got it naturally, but they're usually just polished and buffed. And that, enhances them a lot better in some ways. But you don't want to have a chip on the point, if you're using like generators, like a 6-sided generator, because that'll detract from its energy. I mean, it's still like a big chunky battery, but it's just not as effective, as it were. It's still good. It's like having big batteries around your house sort of thing, So, I mean, look at the batteries in this world that we use. I mean, the junky ones used to buy and replace them. They're called carbon batteries. This is the carbon battery. It's like, it's carbon. Has a positive and a negative, and then it wears out. Whereas now, we use all these different metals now. I won't go into it too much, but like in these computers and laptops and your phones, they're lithium ion, okay? So lithium's a mineral, and I won't go into its constituent elements. But that's it. See, you actually got the stones working for you. Your cars that you go and turn on now, okay, they have a lead battery. It's lead. It's just lead and water. It's a cathode and anode, or a negative and positive, and that's what's working. So it's the same with the stones. I did that demonstration last week with the torch. I took the end off the torch and I put the shungite in it. Because it's a semi-conductor, it lit the torch up. It operated the torch. Exactly. I've got that in the car. I can still do that experiment if we've got time. Exactly. I'm just saying the qualities of things to help us as well. And now we have so much EMF radiation around us, so it's important that we protect ourselves, or at least disperse it. Anyone talked on mobile phone for a long time and just next to their head, felt a headache or anything afterwards? I don't know. My brother can't even do it for 2 or 3 minutes. Exactly. And I'm just saying, it's like, it's important that we, try and learn about this. I'm not knocking the phone, but certain phones aren't even allowed in places like Sweden, whereas here Australia open proportion. So we want to learn the advantages of these stones so they can work with us. It's like us working with nature. That's what Tesla and all the rest, you've got to work with nature. She's providing us everything. Very straightforward. It's just the marketing that, seduces us, with all the mainstream media and stuff, that seduces us to buy and get more things. Whereas you've got some really awesome stuff that just, is around you all the time, so to speak. This is a sapphire. It's a star sapphire. All right, very, very powerful. By the way, the royal family, up to about Princess Diana, they used to always give themselves, they used to give sapphires, not diamonds. Okay, I mean, diamonds were always amplifiers of the sapphires as well, but the sapphires were really important.
Yeah, because Princess Diana was engaged in the sapphire.
Blue sapphire, yes. I've seen the replica of that. I've held it in my hand, yes. It's phenomenal. Yeah, so sapphires. Okay, so stones have certain attributes, and there's some really, really good affordable stones. As I say, we're using shungite now as a disperser of EMF around your computers and around your laptops, and those sorts of things. I like it because it's a very good stone. It's very practical, it's very, very clean, and very, very easy to use. So there's a bit of an overview there about stones.
What colour's shungite?
Black.
Oh, okay.
It's a very light black, yeah. Well, as I said before, about opaque stones are good at absorbing or dispersing energy. They sort of absorb and disperse it. As I said, I'll show you more detail on electrics and magnetic energy, but that's in our later workshops, because one has to understand electric energy is like to the fire, and magnetic is to the water, and electromagnetic is to the air, the ether, and then gravity to the earth. There's these principles that are there, and they all work together. It's just knowing what you call it. There's some things you can call, like, it may have several names, okay? So water, we're using magnetism, like we were saying before about the moon. It has magnetism to the tides. It just changes its frequency a lot. That's it. Okay, more on this later. That's natural citrine. Okay.
What's that one?
I'm pretty sure that is a pure raw shungite crystal. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's very rare to get it in that shape. Okay, but that's the natural, because as I say, it's like all stones, very hard to see it, find them in their rare shapes. In fact, I actually go out of my way with another friend, or a few friends of ours, and we find shapes of stones that actually grow in the actual geometric shapes, because they have a lot more fascination, but they have a lot of energy about it. Okay, so see that triangular shape? It's a natural shape. Yeah. Okay, it's gorgeous. Okay, so the old record players, I mean, these guys, mixing the decks, and that here has a diamond stylus. It's a fleck of diamond. That's picking up sound. It picks up sound. So the diamond's intelligent. It's not the electricity that's picking it up. The electricity's plugged in there, and there's 4 different electrical cables going there, and it just goes in with the right frequency. And this diamond, through an amplifier, plays music. That's it, through a set of speakers. Once again, speakers, magnets, that's it. So it's a diamond picking up sound. Picking up sounds. The lasers, the first lasers, once again, all stones. In fact, all the modern lasers reverse henge. Oh, look, Stonehenge just happens to be in a hex. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So it's a grand attractor. Boom, more on this later. These fellows. Okay, so Tutankhamun's mask. Gold is gold, pure gold. The blue is lapis lazuli. The red is coral. Red coral's really, really good. And the light blue is turquoise. The name turquoise comes from Turkey. It was the old root where they got the turquoise out of Turkey and shipped it into Mesopotamia and Egypt, and that turquoise was the Turkey. All right. Lots going on there. Archangel Michael. Oh, we've gone off it now, so I'm going to just pop out of that. We better boomski. Okay, in the slideshow, I'm going to start getting into archangels and stuff. So, but also look at what they're wearing on their garb. Stones. I know this is a romantic depiction. Halos, you know, aura, you know. Auric fields. Garnet, water, Boomski. So we have this incredible crystalline structure that grows on our Earth that is actually beautiful and intelligent by design. And we have all this aspects of, I suppose, growth and knowledge that we can work with these crystalline structures within us. So also, we cleanse our own bodies and our own minds, and like we're learning with meditation, to cleanse our own spirit and our own soul, as it were, of attributes. The same thing can happen with stones. You need to, because they'll absorb some, and you got to clean them, just like a vacuum cleaner or whatever. You know, it's like you got to clean it. You know, maintain it. Maintenance is a big thing. So the same thing with stones. There's different ways to cleanse and bless stones. As I said, we're only just going to skim the surface. I know there's dozens of ways you might know. But generally, you can charge it with a full moon, but cleansing it, you want like holy water or blessed water. I mean, holy water. So holy water means structured water. So once again, we're getting back to a crystalline nature. That's what it really is. It's not like run out of a tap with, you know, all those, you know, bad minerals in it. So holy water. So whole. Don't spell it with a H-O-L-E. Okay, holy. It's with a W. I'll get into spelling, and that's Kabbalah, what those letters mean. Okay, they mean a lot. Not for the juniors, so it's holy. Oops, I've spelled it with an L. One, I got two, okay. Holy, it's whole with a W. So there's a lot of prefixes in the English language that mean a lot of things. More on that later. So crystals have attributes. They're intelligent. Lasers, you know, musical instruments and things like that have high quality stones, high quality metals, as it were, you know, as opposed to plastics. You know, plastic doesn't pick up anything. It's kind of like a neutral. It's an insulator, as it were. Quartz watches, I remember they were the big rage back in the 70s and the 80s. Quartz watches come in, quartz calculators, you know, they're intelligent, you know, solar powered, you know, that sort of thing as well. It's quartz. Before the quartz watches came in, most watches had something. It used to be stamped on them. It's 17 jewels. It's got these jewels. The jewels are intelligent. They're really expensive, like those high-end Swiss watches and things, you know, like the Cartiers and, you know, so on and so forth. They have a ruby spindle. It's very, very minute, but the stone holds time. It holds rhythm. It holds whatever. It's a clock, okay. Yes, I know. We're going till 6, okay? So I must know that we will talk a little bit more about this. So to cleanse and bless stones is like cleansing and blessing your food. You just pray over it and just ask. You give it a charge or a command. All right? It's the same as if you had like a magical sword or magical armor or, you know, wands or staves or anything like that. You cleanse and you bless it. So you give it strength of purpose. And keep the purpose reasonably simple. You know, you don't have to go into these massive, you know, exactly, I heard it, you know, the seventh son of a seventh, you know, all that. That's, yeah, sure, if you want to do that sort of stuff, fine. But those incarnations and incantations are for a purpose, okay?